What's up, everybody? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic.
I'm Jammin John.
And once again, we have an album review, and one that was highly anticipated for probably anyone that just likes knuckle-dragging, brutal death metal. We are going over the latest offering from Sanguisugabogg, Hideous Aftermath. Now, years ago, we probably wouldn't even got their fucking name right. Probably would have called it Sandra Bullock Boob, or Santa Smoking Bong, or Sanguisugabogg, Sandwich Sugar Boob.
Sandwich Sugar Boob, that was always a good one.
Yeah. But much like this band, we've matured. We've gotten used to saying things correctly, unless they're in a different language.
We haven't matured, you guys.
We haven't.
Don't let him fool you.
Anyway, this also comes out on the 10th of October on Century Media Records. This band formed in 2019 in Columbus, Ohio. This is their third full length. I have been a fan since their debut EP, Pornographic Seizures. We've gone over their previous two albums, Tortured Whole and Homicidal Ecstasy. Both of them were fun reviews, especially Tortured Whole, because believe me, it took the longest time for us to actually get a clear take for the song Dick Fillet.
We're still laughing now.
A lot of that.
It's kind of impossible to not laugh. Well, if you're us and immature and, have really not graduated beyond, say, 14, 15 years old.
But oddly enough, maturity might be kind of a theme for this review because, this band I would often associate with the whole caveman death metal sort of thing that's been going on. But I will say that this is definitely more refined than anything that this band has put out so far. These cavemen have evolved. They have gone beyond just we discovered fire fucking forever ago, and we made a wheel. It's pretty cool.
Made a couple of them.
A couple of them, actually. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We're practically the Flintstones, except probably hairier and uglier, and we're still dragging some knuckles just for fun. But this album is, honestly, kind of vastly different than anything that they've put out, except in the grand scheme of things. This sounds more like just a straightforward, fucking awesome, brutal death metal / technical brutal death metal album. These guys have kind of, weirdly enough, in a way, caught up to a lot of other bands in terms of what they do, and then just infused it into their flat out just primal style of death metal. And this might be one of the best things they've ever released.
Yeah, I can probably get on board and say that. Now, I'm going to preface this review, actually a series of reviews for the foreseeable future. I've had dental surgery. If you see these are on loan. Well, they're not. I'm paying for them. But yeah, I had some dental surgery, and so I'm learning how to talk yet again. So we'll just preface any review. I tell you what, I've been a fan of these guys. My history is pretty much about the same as Nick's. I've been a fan of these guys for a long time, and while I like Ooga Booga death metal, because we love Ooga Booga death metal, there's still oogas and boogas, but it's got a lot more to it. The mix, yet again, done by Kurt Ballou, who mixed the last record. I think, personally, this record sonically, it sounds the best it's ever sounded, dude. The drums sound fucking amazing. The snare's still got a little bit of ping to it, but it's got some pop, dude. The guitars are thick and crunchy and beefy. The bass sounds particularly gnarly. The atmosphere, when they choose to use it, sits perfectly in the mix. These songs sound just as savage as they are written musically. And
savagery is expected. That's what this band does well. It's what this band has been doing well, but with their own little, kind of twists and, quirks about it. Initially with, Tortured Whole, this band almost seemed like a parody of brutal death metal. So much so that it pissed off a lot of, brutal death metal and slam bands. What the fuck? Are they fucking making fun of us? Mm-hmm. Why is this song about a dude menstruating? That's, not fucking cool. Of course, this still has, its over-the-top brutal tropes. You can figure that out by just some of the names of, the songs in here, Erotic Beheading or Felony Abuse of a Corpse. Pain and Flesh, yeah. It's still, again, has that over-the-top appeal. But when you listen to the music, it is much more refined. Right from the rip, Rotted Entanglement, this song has, tons of riff changes. Blast beats almost right out of the gate. And this band is not a super blasty band. They're more, groove-laden. Lots of big, hefty, syncopated chugs, crazy off-time rhythms. Their drummer's a fucking maniac. But there's a lot more just, flat-out, brutal death metal energy on here in terms of, more up-tempo sections, more just, flat-out savage, fast-paced riffs. Lots of, gnarly tremolos and such. Mm-hmm. And Devin Devin sounds even more ferocious, but he sounds even more clear on here, too.
Yeah, I didn't have any trouble hearing what he was saying half the time, and that was really cool. I thought in the beginning the vocals sat a little bit out front, but you get used to it as this record goes on, too.
It's still packed with chuggy breakdowns, but I don't know, like, for me, it feels like they kind of, like, reined in any of that, like, leftover kind of, like, silliness and, like, the over-the-top kind of goofiness where it did feel kind of like a parody, and replace it with refinement. Like, in terms of, like, riff work in here, I think this is some of their best. It's clever. There's a lot of fun riff changes on here. Songs like Sanctified Defilement and Ritual Autophagia, for those that don't know what that means you're eating yourself. These songs have, like, almost, like, proggy fucking moments in here. Like, I'm not saying this band went, like, full-on, like, cerebral, like, hyper-evolved into, you know, something even beyond, like, just Homo sapiens. But there are some moments here where it's, you know, a little bit more technical, a little bit more, like, I don't know, kind of like loose with the riffs. Like, there's points on those two songs that remind me of Mastodon's Remission. You know, sludgy, crawling, technical riffs that, you know, are kind of melodic, but, you know, more or less about, like, kind of like a texture and kind of like a weird undulating presence. And then you match that with the crazy drum work on here. Again, I've always liked their drummer. This dude's, like, off-time fills and all his, like, jazzy drum work and all of the fun snare work, like, how that is kind of played off in the guitar work, too. Like, I don't know, like, in terms of, like, syncopation, this band is fucking crazy.
His footwork, too. The footwork in Erotic Beheading, in particular, that song. There's a part where he's playing this really gnarly double kick pattern underneath of this really, like, kind of slower groove, just the contrast. But again, the drum work really in all of the records. Felony Abuse of a Corpse, Heinous Testimony, Before Contraception, Erotic Beheading. These songs, all the drum work in here is just masterful. There's some really, really smooth, tight transitions.
And this album is loaded with some, like, pretty fucking killer guests in here. You have Todd Jones from Nails, Travis Ryan from Cattle Decap, Demontiel Harris, sorry if I got your name wrong, from Peeling Flesh. We also have Josh Welshman from Defeated Sanity, and Dylan Walker from Full of Hell. So this is absolutely loaded with guests, and they make good use of their guests. Abhorrent Contraception is groovy, it's menacing and heavy, a little bit less technical and, like, more straightforward, like, just sledgehammer riffs. Like, my God, it's disgusting.
It's got fossilization-like dissonance in it, too. But actually, the dissonance that they use in a lot of this record sounds particularly evil, which I wasn't ready for either.
And this album has, like, some really gnarly samples, especially in this song where I don't know what serial killer they were interviewing, but apparently he had a rough time becoming God because that involved him killing his entire family. But that sample leads into the last part of the song, which is all Josh Welshman just belching fucking brutal death fury all over these just stanky fucking double time grooves. It's one of the most brutal sections of the album. I think Devin just kind of, like, checked out of the vocals and it's like, no, he's got it. Jesus, I'm not gonna fucking outdo that.
All right, I'm gonna go smoke a joint. You just do this. I'm gonna have my own time. So have at it. Happens with a lot of the guests, actually, like Travis Ryan's appearance on Semi-Automatic Facial Reconstruction. Really, anytime that there's a guest vocalist, they kind of have their own moment in the song. Like, Travis Ryan's part sounds like something he'd be perfect to fit over, and it's just him. He's got the moment where he's got kind of the higher, almost goblin-like screams, and then he's got a lower verse, but it's just him. And it gives him a moment to shine. The same with Dylan from Full of Hell, which takes over the end of Paid in Flesh. And really, I mean, it sounds like a Full of Hell song.
I mean, that song comes in heavy, brutal, again, like, you know, all sorts of, like, just killer brutal death metal vibes. There's blasts, there's killer turnovers and sick riffs. And then that song just stops on a dime, and then fucking Dylan brings hell to Bogtown. It's a slow, methodic crawl, droning, dissonant riffs. It sounds more akin to, like, Cult of Luna or a very noisy section of a Full of Hell song. Imagine that. You're essentially dragged by a truck, slowly, into a pit of despair by that song. And also, this was the first moment when I really thought about the production and who was actually producing it with Kurt Ballou, because all of a sudden these, like, more, I don't know, like, melodic guitars come in. They're still dark. They're still foreboding. It's a very atmospheric section of this album. It's just fucking, oppressively heavy, but in a completely different sense than anything else in the album. But it sounds exactly like, a slow, menacing, fucking anguished Converge song. Like, think the slower parts of fucking Jane Doe, the song. And there's some other interesting nods on here too. Repulsive Demise in particular, that is, pretty much what I would call a Mortician / Godflesh slamwich.
Yep.
It's kind of both of those vibes. You have, electronic drums. Like, there might be real drums in there, but there's definitely electronic drums. You get a simple, lumbering, chuggy riff. You get this absolutely sick, over-the-top bass tone. They might as well have just said Will Romer was on this. I would have believed him.
Yeah.
And it's just got this, like, flat-out Mortician energy, like double bass. You can hear, like, the electronic cymbals and such. But it also has, like, some more atmospheric stuff in there that wouldn't be Mortician. This is the stuff that reminded me a lot more of Godflesh. Plus, there wasn't, like, a 30-second sample of a fucking horror movie that I've never seen, too.
That always is the case, isn't
yeah,
it?
No, that's Mortician. It's 1/3 movie samples, 2/3 the most brutal fucking metal ever. But the biggest, like, difference overall in this album for me was just the songwriting. Like, it's definitely changing here. Like, the transitions are sharper, but this whole thing flows very smoothly. Like, this feels like more akin to, like, Undeath. Or I would say like 200 Stab Wounds in terms of like quick riff transitions, more so than it feels akin to, honestly, Sanguisugabogg's older material, which is kind of an issue here because while I really like this, and in fact I would say musically this is like probably the best thing this band has ever done. It's fucking awesome. I kind of miss like the early dumb stuff too. Like that was kind of an issue with Homicidal Ecstasy too, where like, all right, you guys are tightening up. It's more polished. I like it. It's still got its grit. But I kind of got used to all that dumb shit in the first, couple of offerings.
Right. The first couple offerings had single-digit IQ.
Yeah.
The last record had double-digit IQ. This one is pushing triple-digit IQ.
Yeah. How dare you guys learn how to read and write? That's just fucking killing the vibe. No, I'm kidding, though. No. I still really dig this, but again, like, it almost doesn't feel like Sanguisugabogg. Like, I feel like the joke part is kind of like leaving their sound and they're just becoming like a really refined brutal death metal band. Which, honestly, like, outside of like a handful of tracks in here, you could have picked like any number of these tracks and it might have taken me a little bit longer to guess that they were Sanguisugabogg versus like some of their earlier stuff.
That's fair.
And,
That's fair.
I mean, brutal death metal doesn't have like a huge wheelhouse in terms of its sound. Like, you get the more technical stuff, or you get the more savage, like, chuggy shit. It can be kind of hard to stand out there, but Sanguisugabogg found a way to do that with their earlier stuff that is not quite here, but at the same time, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, legit, these are like minor complaints, honestly, because this whole album was a ton of fun to listen to.
To be honest with you, I don't really have any complaints. Like, I get where he's coming from. Really, if I were to argue anything about whether or not this sounds like the BOGG, I could say that the one part that stood out to me in particular was the end of Paid in Flesh, which definitely doesn't sound like the BOGG. But I mean, beyond that, I don't have any complaints, man. This thing is savage. So overall, I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. Dude, tons of riffs. All these songs stand out on their own accord. There wasn't any time where I thought songs ran into each other. In fact, some of them are actually done really well where they bleed out from the previous song and go right into something else. The songwriting has definitely improved. Brutal, yet mature. As mature as the BOGG can possibly be. As mature as we are. You know, that kind of mature. Tasty drum work, savage riffs, dude. Unbelievably heavy fucking breakdowns. Unbelievably heavy grooves. The riff work is entertaining. There's a bunch of off-time stuff going on. We've added some very evil-sounding dissonance, some tremolos. This record is mean, and it's just out to get you. If you have been a fan of this band for a while, you're probably still going to be a fan of this band. There are flecks of their old elements and flecks of a bunch of stuff that you're probably already also into as well. If you're a big fan of bands like Suffocation, Brutal Truth, Defeated Sanity, Mutilatred, 200 Stab Wounds, Undeath, things like that, give this a spin for yourself. Again, I thought it was fucking fantastic.
I am going to give it a solid 4, bordering on a 4.5. I will stand by what I said. I think this is the best offering they've had, their most mature offering. This is way more technical, way more riff variety. It's smarter, but I still feel like there's just enough dumb in here for me to like really kind of like get behind it. Like it's still got its big chuggy grooves. It's still got like its pure ooga booga heft, but there's more to it. Like it's more nuanced. I like that there is like a little bit more technical appeal in here. Like, you know, there are some moments that are kind of close to Defeated Sanity, albeit not quite as crazy. I'll even go ahead and say that this is almost kind of like a proving ground album for them in terms of like all their detractors that have been fucking like dogging them for years. Like this band has been getting shit on like since their inception. Like, dude, they got more shirt designs, they got fucking songs, fucking bitches. I've legit heard someone actually say that. Whatever. Honestly, I would put this album to any detractor and say, listen, check this out. And maybe not even tell them it's Sanguisugabogg. Like, yeah, dude, this is fucking solid brutal death metal. Like, well, guess what? It's Sanguisugabogg. Like, fuck, I'm a poser. And then tell them they have to fillet their own dicks right then and there. It's only fitting. No, this is an absolutely sick album. I like the fact that they have, like, just so much more going on here. Great fucking riff work on here. The drums, this dude is an absolute fucking beast on drums. I've always been a fan of his drum work, and this is, again, like much like everyone else in here, like the most refined performance I think he's had before. If you're a big fan of, you know, Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, again, like Defeated Sanity, also like Undeath, a little bit of Mortician, check this out. This was an absolutely fucking savage album and also just a fuck ton of fun to listen to. So if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They're only 99 cents. And our Lone Perk is doing a members-only live stream, which we'll probably do at some point this month. Don't worry, we'll let you know when that is. We'll probably put up a post in the community. But either way, membership's the main way to support the channel. And if you would like to join up, there's a join button down there where it says join. And you can hit it, and then you will join. Otherwise, something horrible might happen to you that will be, I don't know, maybe talked about in a future Sanguisugabogg song.
And it won't be our fault, because we told you to hit the button.
Yeah.
But even if you don't, it's cool. It's not like we don't have tons of other stuff going on. We have non-members only live streams. We have discography rankings, tons of album reviews, tons of various talking segments, Nick's never-ending collection updates. We just, all metal, all the time. It's what we do because of you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of Thralls of Metal. Thank you for joining our family. Thank you for continuing to comment and watch our videos and do all the wonderful shit you do. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys absolutely rule. Tons of content coming your way. So one more big thank you because you guys are awesome, and we will catch you later.